Hey family, what's good? This is your girl, I am the Bronze Goddess, and it's time for another strawberry letter. If you guys enjoy these types of videos from me, be sure to thumbs up so I'll know to keep making this type of video here on my YouTube channel. And if you enjoy this type of video and you want to hear more, check out my latest book. It's called Breaking the Man Code, The Key to Unlocking His Heart. You can buy it on Amazon, Kindle, and BarnesandNoble.com. And I have a podcast coming up really soon, so I would love to hear you guys' thoughts. And if you want to hear my opinion on life, love, relationships, whatever it is, call into the show and leave your voicemail message. The number is 678-568-3013. Your message can be no longer than 3 minutes, so get right to the point, all right, when you call? Anyway, without any further ado, let's get started with today's video. Let's go get him. I started dating my kid's father in 2014. At the time, he had a 3-year-old with another woman, let's call her Keisha. He told me him and Keisha was over, and I believed him because he took me out on dates, spent time at my apartment, I spent time at his, he paid my bills for me, he bought me flowers and things of that such. He was literally with me every day, and I fell pregnant with our first kid. 3 months into my pregnancy, he got into some trouble and was incarcerated for the next 6 months. While he was in prison, Keisha reached out to me and asked me, was my kid his? She stated that they were together and that he was still communicating with her. I was devastated. I thought he was my soulmate and I was having my first kid with him. Anywho, he basically told me that that was a lie and that she didn't want to let him go, so I stayed. When he came home, he lost his place and he moved in with me. I gave birth to my daughter and he was there every step of the way. While we was out one day, we ran into the neighborhood prophet. You can't ask him anything, but if he feels it, he will tell you what he knows. Girl, what is this? At the time, he told my daughter's father that he would marry me, which was a shock to both of us, especially considering we never even talked about marriage. Girl. Anywho, I quickly fell postpartum, and little to my knowledge, he started cheating a lot, most times with Keisha. I stayed. Keisha and I would argue a lot because she would say things to really try to hurt me. I figured out she did lie about them being together, but he still was creeping with her. Shortly before my daughter turned 1, Keisha admitted to my boyfriend that she didn't think he was the father of her now 3-year-old. They swabbed the little girl, and come to find out, he was not the father. After that, he hated her. They stopped communicating, and I finally thought that was the end of all the cheating. He had self-proclaimed that he had changed. Anywho, I fell pregnant again, and unknowing to me, we moved close to Keisha.
Unknown to you? Uber, he knew that was Keisha's house. Okay, anyway.
I saw her, and we got into a confrontation while I was 6 months pregnant and almost fought. Recently, I had seen a text message in his phone from her. I was so hurt that after all this time, after she tried to fight me while I was pregnant with our child, he still is trying to communicate with her. He promises that he didn't sleep with her. He just used her to get some money because we fell on hard times. I'm gonna have to summarize it from here. Girl, first and foremost, before I get into all of this other stuff, what do you mean that you didn't know that you guys moved close to her? Whether you knew or not, he knew that was her house. Like, this is all a setup from the very beginning, but let's just jump right into it. Honestly, I feel like you know that he's still in love with her. And, you know, you're trying to convince yourself that it's for any other reason other than the reason that you know. Sometimes we're, like the old Maya Angelou quote goes, sometimes we're blind because we want to be. Because there is no reason why he cannot seem to cut contact with this woman. Now, before, when he thought the child was his, I totally get it. Whether they are together or not, they still have to be in communication to some degree with regard to the daughter. But now you're figuring out that she actually isn't his child. He still can't keep contact with her. I feel like it's because he does still have feelings for her. Now, you also said in your letter that you let him move in with you. You didn't give me more details, because what I suspect, without you even having told me, is maybe he's not working. Maybe because he's fresh out of prison, he may have had a hard time finding a job, and apparently you have your own place, that's why you're allowing him to move in. Maybe. And I'm not saying this to be mean, I'm saying this to be honest, and because you guys know that I'm very blunt, maybe he's staying with you and he's with you because you can take better care of him than she can. Now, I don't know if she's living with someone or I don't understand why he doesn't just go ahead and be with her, but you know, I actually heard Bishop Jake say this a long time ago. He said, you know, women are so different. We're wired so differently from men. You know, a woman, you know, she could love you and have that love for you her entire life. Women can be in love with a man for 20, 30, 40 years, a man they're never even going to be with. But a man can love you and just like that can forget your mama ever had you. And so I feel like he has no excuse to keep this contact going unless there are actually genuine feelings there. But I feel like you knew that. And, you know, one of the reasons why all of this is happening is because I don't think he takes you seriously. You keep catching him talking to her, and then he keeps cheating with her, and then you keep taking him back. That's what happens when you give half-hearted ultimatums to a man. And eventually they stop taking you seriously. And they know you're going to be mad for a little while, but eventually you'll forgive them. So they do it. Like they always say, sometimes it's better to ask forgiveness than to ask permission. I think he knows that, yeah, you'll be mad if he cheats, but because you've taken him back so many times, you've created this pattern of, I cheat, she gets mad, I say I'm going to change, and then she comes back. Like, I think he knows how this goes. This is a routine with you guys. And it almost sounds like because you have stayed, you have accepted it. Whether you say that you have or not, your actions speak louder than words can ever do. All this bunch of, if you talk to her again, if you cheat on me again, I'm gone. And the fact that you're still here, he doesn't take you seriously. So why are you being the third wheel in their relationship? And like I said, I'm not saying this to be mean. I'm saying this because they got something going on here and you know about it. So why don't you just say, you know what, you two have each other. Because I bet you, I suspect that if you quote unquote break up with him, he will run right back to her. She will be the first place he goes. So I don't know why he's with you wasting your time knowing good and well that's where he would rather be. Despite what he's saying, his actions say differently. He cannot seem to break the bond that they have. Even after finding out the child is not his, he still can't stay away. There is no reason why. If he needed money, he could have asked somebody else. You mean it's, because even if he is just using her, would you really want to be with somebody who's just using somebody? Because how do you know he's not just using you? What's good for the goose is good for the gander. I never understand how a woman could stand by and watch a man use another woman and think it could never happen to you. You're not special. You're not exempt. The same cold-hearted, calculating man who's using her could actually be using you. Maybe he's using you for a place to stay and using her for money and using somebody else for sex. Like he is a user. So what are you're expecting a snake not to hiss? Like, that's all he could do. Never make a man feel that there is nothing that he could do that would make you leave. He needs to know and you can make love sound romantic if you want to, but love has some conditions. I love you as long as you don't put your hands on me. I love you and I'll be here as long as you don't disrespect me. I'll be here as long as you don't cheat on me. Like, no, that whole love is blind and I'm here unconditionally, y'all can believe that if you want to. And that's coming from a married woman. No, love, real love, it also has conditions. I love me more than I'll love anybody else. I will not allow me to be treated in a poor way. So as much as I love you, I can't be with you because I love me more. So if you're cheating on me, disrespecting me, making me wonder where you are and got my blood pressure up, this woman is threatening to fight you and even fight you while you're pregnant with his child, no less. And even that can't keep him away? Just because a man doesn't say that he doesn't want to be with you doesn't mean that he wants to stay. You have to look at the actions, not just listening to the words. His actions say, the fact that he was willing to risk it is a sign to me. When you say, if I catch you talking to her or communicating with her again, it's over, and he still does, and he still gets caught, that meant it was worth the risk to him. And you don't want to be with somebody who doesn't mind risking your relationship for somebody else. They have nothing to talk about. That the child is not even his, so what's the problem here? It doesn't seem like he's willing to love you in the way that you deserve to be loved. Love you enough to have it where no other woman can even think she has a chance with him. That's what a good man will do. A good man will make it so obvious to every woman he comes in contact with that, no, nobody, I'm with her. He doesn't mind shutting females down. He does not encourage women who seem to be into him, that kind of thing. A good man will never let you doubt how loyal he is. A good man will never let the thought cross your mind that another woman can take him from you. Never. He will make sure that either he squashes it or that he always reassures you that you are the one. I feel like this may be a situation of convenience. If he wasn't living with you, would you guys still be together? If you forced him to get out there and get his own place, would you guys be together? Or would the first place he would run to would be her arms? You don't owe it to him to stay. You don't owe it to him to be this loyal. You don't want to be in a relationship so badly that you put up with any type of behavior to stay in it. Not everything is worth it. Don't let the idea of being in a relationship and make it sound so romantic where you can't realize everybody who's in a relationship is not happy. Some single people are happier than some people who are in relationships. It's about how you feel about yourself. You gotta be happy at every stage in life. Regardless of what you say, it sounds like you are okay with sharing him with her. That's what your actions say. That you take him back every time he gets caught cheating with her. You take him back every time, and yet you're mad for a little while, but you still stay. Your actions show that you don't mind being in this little threesome. So why would he stop? Why would he stop when all he has to really deal with is a few days of you being upset? I'm not a big fan of ultimatums. I'm not a fan of threatening somebody and guilt tripping somebody and pressuring somebody to do what's right. But if you are going to give somebody an ultimatum, you have to mean it. It can't be some tough talk that they can talk you out of. You have to say, if I catch you with her again, I'm leaving, or you're leaving. You can't just change your mind. You have to stick with it. That's why men don't take you seriously, because they know they can sweet talk you out of whatever it is that you say. That's what I mean about standards. Standards have to be written in stone. They can't change regardless of how you feel, how the mood was right, and how this happened and that happened. You have to truly mean them. And if I say no kissing on the first date, I don't care how magical that date is. I don't care if you took me to have dinner on the moon.
If I say no kissing on the first date, then ta-ta for now. Then give me one of them little church hugs and scoot on.
But what I mean is you have to stand firm in what you believe in. And when you blur the lines, how can you expect them to know where the lines are drawn when you can barely see? You have to know before you get into a relationship what you will and will not tolerate. They don't change based on how things are going. But because when you don't take your standards seriously, he won't take your standards seriously. I don't think he takes you seriously because you've never really required anything of him. He doesn't work, it sounds like. He doesn't have his own place. He can cheat here and there as long as he's really sorry about it. Like, you've never really made him do anything. You've never really made him earn to the right to be your man. So that's why he's not doing anything. He's done nothing to be with you. Why are you allowing him? Why are you making yourself so easy? Like I said in my book, don't just play hard to get, be hard to get. You have never challenged him. You have never made your love something that he had to actually go out there and earn. You just gave it to him. So freely. Your love, your heart, your body, you gave it up too easy. And now he doesn't take you, your standards, your feelings, your emotions, your threats. He takes none of it seriously. Because you never stood by them. I say you need to get yourself some standards. And you need to stick with them. And don't you ever give him or anybody else an ultimatum unless you truly mean it. I honestly believe that he's still in love with that woman. And just because he's with you doesn't make that any less true. Some men don't appreciate a woman like you. Stop casting your pearls before swine. You need to really pray and ask God to show you exactly why he's with you. Because honestly, and I'm not saying this to be mean, I'm saying it because it's true, I'm not sure that he loves you. I think this is convenient. He may love the things that you've done for him. He may even love the way that you love him. But there's a reason why she still has his attention. And you need to know exactly why. Anyway, that's it for this particular video. If you guys enjoy it, be sure to thumbs up. Also, be sure to pick up my latest book, Breaking the Man Code, The Key to Unlocking His Heart. And if you want to hear my 2 cents on your situation, call into my upcoming podcast and leave your voicemail message. You may get the opportunity to have your message played on my show. It's 678-568-3013. I cannot wait to hear from you guys. I love you all, and I'll see you in the next video. Till next time, later, divas and dudes. Deuces, honey.